and welcome to Hero Power. I am your host, Avantes, and as always, I am joined by my co-hosts, Zeroshio.
Yo, what is up, gang?
And Versika.
Hump day.
Hump day, yeah.
Hump day.
I know, and I'm feeling it today. I tell you what, ran 2 Tavern Hero qualifiers this weekend, and I am flat wore out this week.
Yeah,
It
that's some great Hearthstone, though.
It was some really, really good Hearthstone played this weekend. Some of the best we've watched in a while. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we got a great show for you today. A lot to talk about. Before we get into that, Versika, tell us a little bit about our sponsors at Viforce.
All right. Well, as most of you know, got my Viforce machine right before Christmas. It's about a month old now. I'm still just getting my settings and everything the way that I want it. I was actually talking to some gentlemen this weekend at the Tavern Hero qualifier about the machine. And we started talking about value and price. And one of the things that I've really talked about a lot on these ads is how great Viforce pricing, their pricing structure, and how great a machine you get for what you put into it. Well, since I've been doing these ads, and it's been a year now, almost a year now, we've seen prices come down, and so why buy from Viforce? Well, you're going to have to tune into the video portion to find out why I think you should buy from Viforce. Until then, you can check out Viforce at ViforceGaming.com, or you can go to our Hero Power, or our website, HeroPowerHS.com. Click on the Viforce link; it'll take you there, and check it out, and then come back and watch our video portion.
Absolutely. All right. We do have some show news to talk about. We have a new patron this week. We'd like to welcome Max Box to the patron list.
Woohoo!
Tavern Hero champion.
For those of
Max
you who might not
Fox.
know Max is a Tavern Hero champion. He has won 2 qualifiers now in the last 12 months. One in the 2016 season and one this past weekend. So
Yeah, let's try not to queue in with a banned deck this time.
Yeah, that would be great. All right,
That'd be
and we also have 2 iTunes reviews this week.
I thought we had another patron this weekend. Was it just the one?
Just the one.
Okay.
And we have 2 iTunes reviews this week. The first is a 5-star from Fear Lord HS. He says, one of the best Hearthstone podcasts you can get. What's up, gang? I've been lucky enough to listen to your podcast for some time now. Pretty fun, chilled, and filled with useful information. Keep up the good work. You're a major asset for the Hearthstone community. Thank you, Fear Lord.
All right.
Okay.
Before we move to the next one, I want to give a shout out to Fear Lord. I actually ran into Fear Lord in Sage Cora's stream over at twitch.tv/Sage Cora. He recognized my name, said he loved the show, and we got to talking about how you can leave iTunes reviews and show your appreciation for both, at the time, Coin Concede, as well as other podcasts you listen to, Hero Power. And he specifically sent me a message and had me walk him through how to leave a review on iTunes, and he said he was a long-time listener. So thank you so much, Fear Lord. It's awesome that we reach all the way out to Portugal. So again, thank you so much for your support, and yeah, thanks.
Awesome. All right, our other iTunes review was short and sweet and to the point. It's a 5-star review from No Pun Intended. It is titled Perfect, and the message says, "Thank you." And I don't know if Stray Dog wants me to give away his battle tag on the air, so I'm just going to say thank you, Stray Dog. We greatly appreciate you leaving a review and being a listener. So,
Yes, we do. Thanks to both of you. Thanks for doing that. And if you want to leave an iTunes review, you can have Zeroshio walk you through it.
That's right.
That's right.
Absolutely. He will be more than happy to walk you
And
through
the
it.
best way to do that is to email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to heropowerhs.com and click on the contact us link. We'll get your email right away.
That's
Hey,
right.
and on a serious note, that is really cool that you took the time to walk him through that.
Yeah, he was really cool. We bonded because for those that don't know it, I am multilingual, so I do speak a few different languages, and Portuguese is one that I dabble in. I speak Spanish fluently, so Portuguese kind of comes a little naturally. There's quite a bit of difference, but we bonded on that as well. So it's really cool that we have that to bond on, as well as Hearthstone and a love for watching Sage Cora on Twitch.
I know, I can recognize Portuguese when it's being spoken, but I know nothing about the language.
Yeah, I don't know Spanish. I both can read and write and speak in and understand. Portuguese is pretty much just verbal. I'm not very good at writing or reading in Portuguese, but I get by.
Hero Power, a Rosetta Stone podcast.
That's right.
It's funny. Real quick, funny story. So I was in the Dominican Republic. I'm going out to my first parasailing excursion, and I'm on the boat that takes you from the beach out to the parasailing boat, and I'm on it with these 3 Portuguese ladies, and they're speaking back and forth, and I know they're speaking Portuguese, and I understood just enough to know that one of the ladies was so scared she was about to pee herself, which made me scared because they were talking about how this is like their 4th time up, and I'm just like, wait, it's your 4th time and you're so scared? What have I gotten myself into? Funny little Portuguese story. I knew just enough to make me scared.
Yeah, there you go.
Weird.
All right, let's get into the news. So like I said, we've got a lot to talk about. So this past weekend, PC Gamer published an interview they did with Ben Brode talking about the standard format, and in particular, they really talked a lot about upcoming changes and what was he thinking about Spirit Claws and pirates in particular, because we all know pirates are kind of a thing right now, whether you want it to be or not. So, Zeroshio, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little more about this story?
Well, I mean, if you're interested in reading the entire PC Gamer article, it'll be in our show notes. You can go over that. Basically, it was PC Gamer asking Ben Brode as a developer kind of some of the development process, especially when it comes to development process about specific cards and whether they test them out, and how do things like Small Time Buccaneer come out, and he kind of, without going into too much detail what his specifics exactly in the interview, basically he said the internal testing was fine and there were no real problems, and they still don't necessarily think there are a lot of problems yet. And they go into a lot of the details of checking the different win rates for different cards, and whether somebody doesn't put a certain card in, and some of their decision making on nerfs, like with Molten Giant, how they actually wanted to take Molten Giant out of play for a while, which was one of the changes for Molten Giant the way it was. And it's a really good read. It's way too long to talk about every detail, but they even talked about the video that Brian Kibler Gaming did that we talked about last week, and that was a very interesting take from Ben Brode about that specific interview.
Yeah, Versika, did you get a chance to read through anything you
Absolutely.
anything you wanted to add?
Yeah. Well, number one, you should read this article. It gives you a great deal of insight into the process, so that the next time something comes out and it just seems ridiculously powerful, and they're like, well, why didn't they see this in testing? Why didn't they take care of this? It goes to show that in a vacuum, when they're playtesting this stuff internally, they don't use the cards in the way that we take them straight out of the pack and apply them to what we're doing. They're looking at them almost in I don't want to say a biased sense, but they know what they intended the card to do. So they tend to use it in the way that they intended the card to be used. And sometimes that may limit their ability to see how a card can be abused once it hits the open field. Much like Spirit Claws was designed to make, or what they had hoped would be a spell-heavy shaman, a spell-damaged shaman. Well, it didn't end up being that way. But it was because they had a vision for what they wanted Spirit Claws to do for the shaman class, and it just didn't happen. Once it got out, it just didn't. The value, I guess, wasn't there for everybody else. But when they saw it, they already had that idea. And then to find out that Small Time Buccaneer had been nerfed, 4 or 5 times, and it was nerfed 24 hours before it hit into its current state. So, I mean, that just goes to show that, some cards, they want to make the pirate, like in this instance, they wanted the pirate package to be a thing. So they knew coming in that it was going to be powerful and that they were going to have to rely on us to either figure out a counter or for it to just die off with popularity because people got bored with it before they really took the time to intervene. And, like I said, you really need to read the article because it does give a great deal of insight into how they look at the cards, especially cards that we as a player base feel are problematic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one other thing on the pirate package specifically is they kind of noted that when they were thinking of the pirate package, they were thinking of a full pirate package with pirates that existed from the classic set, basic set, as well as the new ones are coming out. They didn't realize that players would literally just take 2 pirates out of the new set and add it to an existing mid-range shaman or existing type aggro. Yeah. And then they thought, well, to do this kind of powerful package, you're going to have to water your deck down by probably 7, 9 cards. And then, sure, you get 1 free card that comes into play. But most of the players said, okay, I'll put 2 Small-Time Buccaneers. I'll put patches in. That's all I need. And they didn't think of that. That's just human nature. Whenever we think see the new sets and the new cards, we think of, wow, this card or this specific card or this card from this set is going to work well with it because we know all the sets, especially now that Standard's in a smaller vacuum. We think of how is it going to affect Standard. You have to remember these developers have all the cards they've released, all the cards in the Standard set. They're also probably thinking about cards maybe 2 years down the line. So they might miss some synergy that we would normally catch because we're looking at a smaller, compact view of cards.
Right, absolutely.
Or they may see the synergy that a card is going to have for the 4 months that it gets to pair with another cycle and decide, hey, this card is going to be really powerful for 4 months. Then we really get to see how it's going to affect the meta for the next Standard cycle while the other cards are phased out, and maybe that's what they wait for before they decide to intervene and make a change.
Yeah, singleton decks. What's going to happen to singleton decks come the spring?
I can tell you exactly what's going to happen.
You should keep watching HeroPowerHS.com.
That's right.
Yep.
That's all I'm going to say.
I think that, just to give a little teaser in my opinion, I don't think singleton decks will be dead, but they won't be as broad and vast as they are now.
Well, I mean, you got to admit, Reno Lock won't be a thing, but I think it'll still be a lot of fun. So,
like I said,
yeah, but I think the Reno Priest will still exist.
Yeah, possibly. All right, so check out that interview. You can go to our website, click on the post for episode 65. It'll be up in the morning, and you can follow the link to read that interview. In other Blizzard news, and this was just, I guess, broke earlier today.
Yes.
And this isn't 100% Hearthstone related, but it really kind of is, because if you guys remember back in September, I think it was September, late July, August, September, somewhere in there, we talked about the partnership Blizzard had founded with Facebook to incorporate Facebook streaming of all their properties. Well, today, Blizzard announced they are accepting applicants for their 2017 Heroes of the Dorm esports competition, which, if you guys follow Heroes of the Storm, has been their big event the last couple of years and has always been on Twitch and ESPN. Well, they announced this today. It's no longer going to be on ESPN, and it's going to be fully streamed through Facebook Live. So, do we see this as being a transition for Blizzard, taking some of their larger, more notable events and moving them to a Facebook Live to kind of work with this partnership with Facebook? Versika, what do you think? Because I know you brought this you brought this story to my attention earlier.
So I have what my head is telling me, and then I have like my gut reaction. So my gut reaction is I don't like it. One of the things that I liked about Heroes of the Dorm was that it brought esports to the national stage on a television station that you didn't have to have a computer and a high-speed internet connection to watch. I loved sitting on my couch, watching Heroes of the Dorm on my TV, and not having to worry about the computer going to sleep or, bandwidth or anything like that. It was coming to me in full HD, no pixelation. Everything worked the way it was supposed to work. I don't like not having that exposure. And I think there's enough people out there, especially after I would say, fallout from the political climate, who simply aren't using Facebook right now. And I think you're alienating some of your fan base, and you're really missing an opportunity by streaming exclusively to Facebook Live to grow that audience, especially for Heroes of the Storm, which in I don't have the numbers to back this up, but my gut instinct is that it's taken a hit this year from both sponsorships and from viewing, and I would willing to bet Overwatch probably cannibalized some of their player base. So why would you not take the opportunity to grow this? And maybe it was something they couldn't do. Maybe ESPN didn't want it. We don't know all the details right now, but my gut instinct is that it's a bad move. My head, though, saying, what if this is the start of something bigger? We don't know everything that goes in behind it. We should probably sit back and watch this continue to develop. This is, like I said before, the news broke today, so we still don't have all the details. We don't know all the reasoning behind it. Blizzard very rarely does something without a great deal of planning and testing behind what they're doing. It's going to be one of those things where we probably have to wait and see. But I would imagine that this is not going to go over as well as they had hoped, at least initially. My fear is that they're going to do this to Hearthstone as well. And I like being able to log on to Twitch and watch my HCT, and I don't know that I would do that with Facebook Live.
Okay, Zeroshio, thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts on this matter, and when they did the partnership with Facebook Live, I was extremely worried that this would happen. Talking specifically about Heroes, I know this may eventually happen to Hearthstone, but just using Heroes as the point they're going on right now, a lot of their casters, a lot of their personalities for these Heroes tournaments are personalities that have already existed through Twitch. They are known and gotten popular through Twitch. They've gotten their casting opportunities through Twitch, and they move over from their personal Twitch channels to working directly under Blizzard for their Blizz Heroes Twitch channels. This is a great integration because they got well known because of their Twitch streaming, and they come over and do the professional casting which also promotes their Twitch streaming on their channel, helps them with their income. Facebook Live doesn't have any form of sponsorship or monetary compensation integrated into it yet. There's not really a way to put up a donation link. There's not a way to add something like some kind of alert system so that when people donate, it pops up on your screen and all this kind of stuff like you have with the Twitch integrations. And this may cause the casters that do these professional opportunities, and we don't know, they may not be able to promote their Twitch streams on Facebook Live because of contractual agreements and licensing and so forth. I don't think this is a good idea unless Facebook finds some way to follow the model of Twitch and allow some way of sponsorship and monetary compensation. I have a lot of friends and Facebook friends that do live streaming on Facebook. I've actually had some people ask me if I would do live streaming on Facebook. And while I would love to do that, I also have some monetary investment into my streaming and would like an opportunity and a platform that I could accept donations and that form of monetary compensation to help me get equipment, pay for different costs and some of my time. So I don't think this is going to be popular unless Facebook finds a way to follow the Twitch model, and I don't see that happening.
So I want to mention Boyd in chat brings up a good point. He says, one of the things Twitch is most well known for is their Twitch chat, which is very trolly, very racist a lot of times. And by moving that over to Facebook, you might be able to cut down on some of that because people won't be anonymous on Facebook.
It's very true. And, last year there were some issues with racism in that chat. And I out of all the points brought up, out of everything that we have said that might be a reasoning for why this would leave Twitch, this one seems like the best one, because not only I don't feel like Twitch really has I don't want to say the desire, but I don't know if they have the resources to put in what they would need to put in to fully combat that kind of thing. And maybe that's a big reason why they moved over for this event. So, kind of like what I said at the beginning, you don't know that this is... We don't know all the reasons yet, mm-hmm. So it may be a little too early to bash this decision until we find out why the decision was made to go to Facebook Live. If it's strictly monetary and it strictly has to go with their agreement with Facebook, then I think it's a move in poor taste. But if it has something to do with Boyd's point, then I think you have to see it from that side, especially considering the social landscape at the moment. And it could be a very smart PR move on Blizzard's side, just removing the need to police that altogether.
I disagree. The main reason I disagree is because I'm on Facebook and I have friends that put up their political beliefs and their religious beliefs and so forth and so on. And this is a small sample size. This is friends, maybe 100 people or so. And there's always that one person that says something inappropriate, possibly racist, or pushes their agenda to the point where they don't argue in a way that's constructive. They bash people. And when you put this type of thing on any kind of social media, including Facebook, I don't care if you have some accountability, you're going to have the 1% that's going to ruin it. Twitch, the ones that have made those comments in Twitch make up a very small minority of people. They're just the most vocal. I've seen some Facebook Live stuff with professional actors and so forth. There's always that one person that makes a gender specific comment or a race specific comment that's inappropriate. It's going to happen no matter where you go.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, and yeah, you say they're the loudest, and that's probably why everybody just assumes Twitch chat is so toxic all the time. when really it's not. I mean, you go to streams like you were talking about earlier, Cora's stream is very, very cordial, usually all the time. Occasionally you'll get one guy that comes in, she tears him down live on the stream. It's hilarious, and he'll get frustrated and leave. So, you know, that's you're never going to not have issues with social media, but maybe this will limit some.
One example real quick on Facebook Live is when Pokemon Go came out, George Sakai did a Facebook Live where he learned how to play Pokemon Go. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. He had about 1,000 people watching him at the time I was watching it, and somebody comes on and makes both a racial and a sexual preference slur, and the number of viewers just dramatically dropped down to like 200 people because of one person that would not stop talking.
Yeah.
And in that case, there are no moderators. There's nobody to ban him. There's nobody to mute him like Twitch has. Facebook right now doesn't have any of that integration.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see what Blizzard has planned and how they plan to use it, because right now all we know is that they're planning to use it, but we don't know why or how. So we'll just have to wait and see. Usually the Heroes of the Dorm starts in June, or it's usually middle of the year is when the tournament happens.
Are you sure? I thought it was close to March Madness.
It might be.
Like a month after, or a month. I think it was a month after. So April. I want to say it was April-ish.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, it might be.
Because I remember the March Madness hype when I was working for the school system was still fresh in my mind.
We'll just have to wait and see as they announce more information on it, what they plan on doing. You're right. Group stages are the middle of February, and then the national championship is in April. So.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So let's move on to our next story, which is finally, the Dragonfire Potion has come back to Cobble Chemist.
I see what you did there.
Do you?
All right. Finally.
So
I am excited about this. I'm not even gonna let you go to me. I'm gonna butt in. Cabal Chemist, and I'm gonna say it right. Cabal Chemist is a great card. When I found out you couldn't get Dragonfire Potion off of it, it dumped out of all my decks. I'm glad it's back. I've started putting them in my decks, and I've been finding Dragonfire Potions, and it's really turned the tide for games for me. Your turn, Rasika.
I'm meh. I mean,
you're
honestly,
still meh on it.
Yeah, I mean, Cabal Courier is it. I mean,
Cabal Chemist
or Cabal Chemist. It's good, but it's just not. I don't know. It's a little too RNG for me. I feel like, at least in Mage, there's just better slots. I mean, there's better things in the slot. I just don't. I don't know. It just, the randomness combined with the other cards in that particular slot. I'm not a fan of the card, even if I could get Dragonfire Potion from it.
I'll tell you what I like it for is in Reno Lock. Main reason is because Reno Lock runs Azure Drake as well as is it Twilight Drake. And so in a lot of cases, you're going to have a Drake or two on the board. I know when I've played Dragon Priest against Reno Lock, it's been tough because my Dragonfire Potion is not as effective because some of their big minions are dragons, and the bigger minions are bigger than Dragonfire Potion. So I like the fact that Dragonfire Potion could possibly show up in my Reno Lock deck. So that's where I put it. I put Cabal Chemist in there for the chance of getting it.
Okay. All right. But so if you guys want to run it, it's now fixed. You can get the Dragonfire Potion now, so go out there, have some fun. Some people may think it's still too RNG to be good, but you never know.
I will say that I think they found this bug out about 3 weeks after release because nobody was really using it at that high stage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a while. I mean, that's been another, what, 5 weeks or so? Or 4 weeks? I don't know what took them so long to fix this.
Yeah, I do want to say, I, you know, I like I like all of the Discover cards just because I'm a big fan of the Discover mechanic. And I heard that another podcast that we're good friends with is talking about doing a Pauper tournament, and this card's a common. Just throwing that out there, guys. This
There's
card
truth in that.
would probably be good if you're planning on playing in a Pauper tournament with another podcast. Just throwing that out there. Keep keep your ear to the ground. You never know. All right. Hearthstone denied in China.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't heard, the Hearthstone servers crashed in the China region. They lost approximately 4 days worth of game data. It was 56 hours prior to maintenance plus 40 hours of maintenance. That's a lot of time for the servers to be down. I mean,
and after 40 hours, they decided there's nothing we can do to fix this.
Yeah.
They did have, now a lot of people were saying, why would you not have daily backups? They did have daily backups, but like any major database company, all of those incremental daily backups are usually stored on your set of servers. Only your weekly backups are taken off-site, put on a tape or on another drive, and taken away from your servers. Evidently, all the servers that held the backups, all those databases crashed due to a power outage, and so all the backups got corrupted except for the off-site backups.
Yeah, so let me tell you, 4 days with servers down, that's big in any business. I manage servers for my day job, and if my servers were down for 4 days, that would just be like huge revenue loss. It would be catastrophic.
You would be fired.
Yes, I would be fired. So, what did they do to compensate? Well, players were compensated 1,000 gold and 15 packs. 5 packs of Old Gods, 5 packs of Classic, 5 packs of Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. Do you feel like this was compensation enough for anything that might have been lost? Sorosio?
I think this is compensation enough for being without this game for 4 days. Yes. I think this does not compensate anyone that may have made purchases. And it was noted that they had no way of tracking purchases to be able to compensate those. So if somebody decided, you know what, I'm going to buy 40 packs, and the next day they can't play Hearthstone and find out that all 40 of those packs are gone, and they won't have that money come back. Now, I'm sure if they show a bank statement, contact customer service, and show that they spent the money, I'm sure they're going to work with them. Blizzard usually does this, but you also have to remember Blizzard is having their servers and their game managed by a separate company in China.
Third-party company, yeah.
So it's a third-party company. So they may not. We don't know how that's being handled. Blizzard hasn't stated that.
Yeah. Rasika, thoughts on the compensation?
Well, first off, they didn't really have to. I mean, no one is requiring them to compensate. It was out of their control and out of their hands. So the fact that they're even giving compensation is at least a gesture. This is actually one of the reasons why I struggled when Avantes wanted me to play Hearthstone. This was one of the reasons why I struggled to spend real money on virtual goods. Is because of something like this. What this doesn't take into account are, if they spent money and if they can prove that they really spent that money and the transaction actually occurred, then I don't see any reason why Blizzard wouldn't honor that purchase.
Yeah.
And I think that this is also enough compensation to have to go through that trouble. The problem is for the people who spent the virtual gold through questing and so on and so forth. I mean, what about if you had 3,500 gold and you decided that you wanted to play the Aviana Cthulhu deck, and so you just went ham on packs with your 3,500 gold? You're just out of luck. I mean, there's nothing that they can do to track that. There's nothing that can be done there. So, as far as, is there a way to fully compensate people? I don't think there is. I think this is a great gesture, but I don't know that. I don't know that he. I don't know that that person would have a leg to stand on unless they were recording their pack openings. So my advice to you is, if you have open broadcast, record your pack openings just in case. If you don't have open broadcast, get open broadcast and record your pack openings.
That shouldn't be an issue, because if someone decided, hey, I have 3,500 gold, I'm just going to open all these packs. They'll get the 3,500 gold back, because at the time the servers reset, they'll get whatever gold was on the server at that time. But you're right. If somebody got some crazy, I got a 3 legend pack, or I opened 6 legends in 20 packs, that's probably not going to happen again. So I could see that.
There goes my golden Alex Straza.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I guess that, and for me, this would be the biggest problem. Let's say in that 4-day period, because you're far enough into the cycle now that this could happen. In that 4-day period, you grinded from 5 to legend.
Yeah.
Because now that's gone.
Yeah.
And there's no way to track it. So I think as part of that compensation, you take the average climb of the players in the 4 days prior, and you give them that climb up. Now, will that make some legend players that might not have gotten their legend? Yes, probably. But you're going to ensure the people that did get legend during that time that you honor that accomplishment. Yeah, so, yes, you may have some free riders take advantage of it. Yes, you may have some people that get there that might not have gotten there on their own. But the important part is that you honored the people who put in the effort and got there. You make sure that those people don't get left out.
The hardest part for this situation is that the China region is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, reading the article that we have in the show notes, is the largest player base of the Hearthstone regions. So more players were affected than if it was, one of the other regions, the Asia Pacific or Europe or North America. So that's really the good thing about this. The positive, the silver lining is this likely will never happen again to Blizzard. Yeah. I guarantee you, both through the third-party company that this happened to and on all the other regions for Blizzard, they're setting up policies to do regular incremental offsite backups, so that at the worst you might be down half a day worth of data, or maybe 23 hours worth of data. I don't expect this to ever happen again in Hearthstone.
Yeah, I could see that.
A redundancy should be put into place.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that covers most of the news. We are going to talk about this week's Tavern Brawl, which is brand new. It's called Boss Battle Royale.
Third straight new Tavern Brawl, by the way.
That's right. So if it says, if you ever wonder which dungeon bosses are the strongest, find out. Choose a class and we'll give you a corresponding boss to play. This Tavern Brawl is so much fun. I've actually already played 2 games just because I'm going to use this to clear out all my dailies for the rest of the week. It is so much fun. So basically, if you give you a quick breakdown, if you log in and play as Druid, you will become Razorgore the Untamed. Your hero power is the Rookery. 1 mana, give all corrupted eggs +1 health, and summon one. If you play as Hunter, you become Skelosaurus Hex. His hero power is Ancient Power. 0 mana, give each player a random card. It costs 0. As Mage, you play as the Curator. You have Gallery Protection, which basically states your hero has Taunt, so they can't attack your minions. As Paladin, you play as the White Castle, or the White King, where basically your hero power is discover a chess piece. As Priest, you're Gothic the Harvester. Your hero power is 2 mana, harvest, draw a card. So basically it's the Warlock power without the 2 damage. Shaman, you are Lady Nazjar, and your hero power is Pearl of the Tides. At the end of your turn, replace all minions with new ones that cost 1 more. We've seen this in past Tavern Brawls. It's a lot of fun. Rogues become Grobulus. Their hero power is 2. Deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. If any die, summon a slime. We've seen this in past Tavern Brawls. Warlocks become Noth the Plaguebringer. Their hero power is whenever an enemy dies, summon a 1/1 skeleton. And warriors become Corin Direbrew. And their ability, which I think is probably the most fun, is Pile On. 0 mana, put a minion from each deck into the battlefield. So, have you guys gotten a chance to play this yet? Versika, we'll start with you.
Yes. I've played with all the classes and a couple of games with my 2 favorites. First off, Shaman is good, and there's a lot of thinking I feel like goes into maximizing what you can do. You can just straight up go face with it too, and it's fine. But I think the most powerful boss is Grobulus, the rogue. It's so good. The hero power is so good. The deck works perfectly with it, and it's just so ridiculously. I don't want to say easy, but I mean the hero power makes it easy, and it just wrecks most of them. I would say the 2 hardest classes that I played were probably Hunter and Warlock. Warlock is just rough. Hunter's not that far behind it.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. My first game, I played against a Hunter and kept getting like great cards, which just put me over the top. So
I didn't have a lot of time to play this, but I played 2 games and I was 2-0. And the first one I did, because I had a quest for two classes, I did Priest first, and it was rather easy. That I liked the deck of Priest. I didn't really use the hero power that much, and pretty much rolled over my opponent. Got major board control, just kept clearing their minions. I can't remember what they were playing. I think it was Corin Direbrew, and pretty much just rolled over them. They conceded with like 24 health because they had no board presence. My second one was Warlock, and it was very slow. I was playing against the hero that had the pile on, that kept pulling minions out of both of our decks into play, and I kept getting kept getting skeletons on the board, which was good. And then I got a spell that killed everything but skeletons and won the game. So that was fun. I liked it. I want to play all of them. I didn't know that every class got a different hero or a different boss. I thought it was broke down maybe, one for every 3. So that's kind of cool that that every single one got it. Now, these bosses are bosses from various adventures.
Yes, they are.
So maybe they're trying to reinvigorate us into these adventures, which I don't know. Maybe it's something they're working on for this summer. We don't know. Now, one thing I will point out is in the past with these tavern brawls, we've seen a lot of really new good tavern brawls, usually after release of a set and involving different mechanics from the set, and then they die off and get stale, and you end up getting so many encounters at the Crossroads that you never want to go to Crossroads again. It was like being on a PvP server in World of Warcraft. You just avoided Crossroads as much as you could. But I learned that usually when you see about two or three identical, tavern brawls or past tavern brawls released in a row, usually means you're probably getting close to an announcement for like a release or or big announcement about something with an adventure mode or something like that. So if you start seeing the tavern brawls get boring and stale, maybe that means something big is in the horizon. So
okay, cool. All right, well, let's talk about this week's deck. So, for some of you who may be new or may be listening for the first time, every week we talk about a deck you might see on the ladder. And this week we are talking Warrior. And when you talk Warrior in this meta, that usually means Pirates and Dragons. Oh, look, there's the head shake from Versika. Took us, 47 minutes to get to it, but there it is.
Oh, no, I shook my head at the Chippendales.
Oh.
Oh, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Pre-show, folks.
Yeah.
Get here
Pre-show.
early.
Get here early for the pre-show, yeah. So, some of you may have heard I'm actually competing in a Hearthstone tournament this Sunday, and all the deck lists have been published, so all the players know. So, we're going to talk about the deck I'm bringing Sunday to the tournament. This is Pirate Warrior. It's pretty standard, what you would see on the ladder. I'm going to give the rundown, and then we'll talk about it. So, the deck consists of 2 N'Zoth's First Mate, Patches, Sir Finley Murgleton, 2 Small-Time Buccaneers, 2 Alex Strauss's Champions, 1 Execute, 2 Fairy Dragons, 2 Fiery War Axe, 2 Fierce Monkeys, 2 Frothing Berserkers, 2 Ravaging Ghouls, 2 Corcoran Elite, 2 Twilight Guardians, 2 Azure Drakes, 2 Blackwing Corruptors, 2 Draconid Crushers, and Ragnaros the Fire Lord. So, yeah, this deck does a little more mid-range than it is aggro, like you've been seeing with, say, a straight weapon Pirate Warrior. But I find this deck's a lot more fun because it gives you a little more flexibility. So, Zeroshio, you want to talk a little bit about the deck? Have you played it in some form?
I have played it in some form. I've been playing a slightly different version of the hybrid warrior. It does have the pirate package and it does have the dragon package. This one goes a little bit more to the aggro side, adding in Sir Finley, and it also has a little bit more of the control with having the execute in it. It's almost like you've taken half the aggro deck and half of the slower end of the mid-range dragon deck and thrown them together. I do find that my turns 6 and 7 get a little clunky. If I don't get Draconid Crusher on 6 and have my opponent at low health, I'm kind of behind. But if I have my opponent at 15 health on turn 6 and have Draconid Crusher, I tend to sweep over and win those games. So my version teched in Bran because of some of the battle cries in here. Having a double Ravaging Ghoul battle cry with Frothing Berserker on the board is awesome.
Yeah.
So that would like Versika, I teched in my own changes and I put in Bran Bronzebeard in place of Execute because I felt that with Bran and Blackwing Corruptor, or Bran and the Ravaging Ghoul, it kind of got the effect of removal that Execute would do, but on a broader scale.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Rasika, thoughts on the deck?
Like you, I saw someone bring this deck to the Tavern Hero qualifier, but I never actually got to see him play it because it seemed like it was getting banned all the time. Every time that I went up to try to see it, or he had already played it by the time that I got there. So I didn't actually get to see it played. I like it. I play it very much like a tempo warrior. So I guess when I'm doing it, I'm armoring up as much as possible. So I'm saving my fierce monkeys and my Kor'kron elites for my turns 5 and 6. So I guess I didn't feel as clunky in those turns. The only thing that I did that's different from what is in here is I actually really liked the armor. So I took out Sir Finley Myrtleton, and I also put in a Bran Bronzebeard, but I kept the Execute in.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, obviously, Sir Finley is here because with this deck, you really want to either try to get card draw from the Warlock Hero Power or Steady Shot, the Hunter Hero Power, because you want to try to push through damage as much as possible.
Right.
Which, obviously, it's something that is you can tech out for other options.
Yeah, I can see the value in getting like a Fire Blast and being able to activate your own stuff, but I felt like leaving the Execute. Actually, I really liked having the Execute in there, and I actually toyed around with the idea of adding another one.
Okay.
So the only card I felt like I could take out, I took out.
Okay. There is one card in here that I don't see, that I'm surprised I don't see, is the Curator. I think he'd fit perfectly in here because I do find out that there isn't a lot of card draw, pretty much just the Azure Drakes. And so you're kind of running out of cards, kind of your late game. About the times you'd be throwing down Ragnaros, you're pretty much just Ragnaros is the only option because your hand's empty.
Yeah.
I'd love to take out Ragnaros and put in the Curator to kind of give you that little extra burst where you get a Fierce Monkey, maybe a Twilight Guardian or a Draconic Crusher, and then maybe your Sir Friendly if you haven't drawn them.
I have seen versions of this deck running Curator for that reason. This deck, and I think a lot of people kind of expect Curator because they're seeing dragons and beasts and oh my, but they're not really expecting it when Ragnaros hits the board. It's kind of a surprise.
He's won me as many games as the dragons have.
I guess that's fair because in a position where you're expecting the Curator, you might use your minions to clear the board, pretty much leaving an empty board. And an empty board is just asking Rag to smack you in the face.
Right.
So I could definitely see the reasoning for having Rag instead of the Curator. I can't see a place to have both of them, even though the curve 7-8 seems really nice. If you're putting Curator on 7, then whatever you draw is probably what you're going to put out on 8. So having both would be a little bit overkill. But I think you've convinced me that Ragnaros in this style of build works out really well.
So let's say that you want to add Curator to this build, and you still want to keep the Execute in there. You still want Sir Finley. Would you be okay taking out the 2 N'Zoth First Mates to add in Bran and add in Curator?
I would probably leave a N'Zoth's First Mate and take out a Crusher for the Curator. Mainly because if you haven't drawn the Crusher, it's likely the Curator will get you the Crusher.
Yeah, and you don't have a lot of weapons in this version of the deck outside of the Fiery War Axes and the weapon that N'Zoth's First Mate gives you. So you're really looking for that weapon to proc the small-time Buccaneer early. Or possibly late if you need to push for a little extra damage.
And mainly
Okay.
the reason for not having as many weapons is you have the Alcatraz's champion, which kind of acts as a weapon, because you're gonna get either a favorable trade or you're gonna get face damage as well as a trade with whatever they trade into it to clear it.
I basically use small time Buccaneer as an early game taunt because no one in their right mind is going to leave it on the board.
That's
That's
true.
true too. Yeah.
I clear it at 1-2 as quick as I can because I don't want to clear it at 3-2.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna go play this deck a little bit. I do want to mention one thing. We are having our Hero Power Patron Tournament this Saturday. So, for those of you who are patrons, the tournament will start at 3 o'clock. I believe we've had all of our $5 patrons, all of our $5 and up patrons have been notified. They've been sent the link to sign up for the tournament and to submit their deck lists. So at this time, we're going to kind of assume everybody that's going to be able to play and participate has done so. So we are going to, at this time, open the tournament to our other patrons. You can get that information in the patron-only Discord server, or just shoot one of us a message, and we'll help you do that. So if you are a Hero Power patron, and you would like to participate in the tournament Saturday, the 28th,
Of any value.
of
Even
any
our dollar
patron of any
yeah.
value, go sign up. It'll be at this point, it'll be a first come, first serve up until we hit 16 players.
Mm-hmm.
So go if you want to play, go sign up. It'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be live streamed right here on our Twitch channel. And Zeroshio and Versika are going to shoutcast the event, so it'll be a lot of fun.
And I've had some contact from some of our patrons in the past. Some think, well, I haven't played in a tournament, I'm no good, I haven't gotten legend, or I haven't gotten high rank. Come out for the experience to have fun, and if you happen to do well, there are prizes. So it's just worth having a little fun with the other patrons. And if you happen to win, then you get some payment out of it.
Absolutely.
So to kind of drive that point home, this weekend we had a young gentleman show up to the Tavern Hero qualifier. He showed up on Saturday. He came just for the experience. Yeah, and his in fact, the person that brought him's like, "You're not going to win. Why are you even going?" And he just wanted to come for the experience. And as the day progressed, he found that he was better than he thought he was, and he kept getting further and further in the tournament, and ended up playing some really great Hearthstone and taking the grand finals to a second match. He actually beat the guy that was in the grand finals from the winner bracket. So because everybody had to lose twice, it reset the match, and they went another match to determine who won. And this is from a guy who came not expecting to win, and before he knew it, he was in the second match of the grand finals. So, I mean, you never know what can happen.
That's
Exactly.
awesome.
Exactly. So, all right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for the audio portion of the show this week. So if you are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast, and you can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers, or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show and you want to help to support and improve it, or you may want to play in one of our future patron tournaments, you can get more information on that at patreon.com/HeroPower. And as always, we'll see you again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
Alrighty, well, while we set up to play some games with this warrior deck, Versika, why don't you you said earlier you were going to tell us a little more about the Viforce experience.
Right. So one of the things that I talked about with a couple of our tournament competitors this weekend was that Viforce is Getting a Vive Force machine is more about getting value, and it's not necessarily value is not necessarily the cheapest price. There have been some computers that have come out that have similar stats now that you can get for a little bit cheaper than you can get the Vive Force machines. But price isn't always the driving point. And we talk about price a lot, and that may be my fault for really emphasizing the price. The thing that you get with Vive Force that you're not going to get from a big box store is an experience with setting up a machine that fits you. It's not an out-of-the-box machine that you just go into a store and pick out, or you go online and click some special. They match you with the machine that best fits what you want to use. So yes, this machine out here may be a good price, but is it a good fit for you? Is this the machine that you want or that you need and is going to do what you want it to do? There's something to be said for that, because let's say that you buy this machine for a great price, but you find out that there's a bottleneck in the processor, or there's a bottleneck in the bus, or there's a bottleneck with the graphics card, and then you've got to suddenly spend another $200 or $300 to replace that part, if you can even replace it. Well, then you've priced yourself out of that Vive Force machine anyway. So there's something to be said for being able to talk to someone that knows about the computer and knows about the games that you're playing to help you match your play and your preferences to a machine that can give you what you want. So to me, value is a combination of experience and price, and you're going to get both of those at Vive Force Gaming. You will find unmatched customer service, you will find unmatched knowledge, and you will find very, very good and fair pricing for a great quality machine. And I can't promise you're going to find that anywhere else.
All right.
I will say this. You've probably heard at other places that they advertise that the computers are made for gamers by gamers. This is not the case with Vive Force. They're made for gamers with gamers. They don't just make the computer for you so you can game on it. They sit with you and find out what you game, how you game, and what's going to best suit you for your cost budget. So they're not going to make you spend money on something that you don't need. And they'll tell you that you really don't need this. I was pricing out a computer for my wife, and I told him the parts I wanted. He said, here's a quote on this, but for what she's doing, I don't think she needs that. And then I justified why I wanted it and to give her a little bit of extras in case she decides to do more. And he said, okay, that's fine. You can still do it. I just was wanting to let you know. So they're not going to let you buy anything from them that they don't think you need.
Cool. All right. Let's play some Hearthstone. Some Hearthstone.
Are you
Hearthstone.
in charge now?
The Hearthstone. Do what?
The Hearthstone.
Are you in charge now?
I'm in charge now. Oh, I'm definitely in charge. All right. So our opening hand is Small Time Buccaneer, Fairy Dragon, Fierce Monkey, and Azure Drake. And we have the coin. So this is pretty much a 1, 2, 3, 4 curve. What do you guys think? Do we keep it all? I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah, I like it. I even like the Azure Drake with the coin. Sorry, I immediately got into Hearthstone and had a friendly 80 gold challenge from our friend Ro over at Realm Maintenance. So I had to politely decline and let him know we're doing the show.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so he's gonna lead right out of the gate with Babbling Book.
Ooh.
So Small Time Buccaneer and then run patches into his face, or run patches into the book.
Well, see, here's the deal. If it's other people, then you run patches into the face, but he's just going to fire blast your patches, which takes up his second turn. So
That's
there's
true,
value in that. But I think I would probably clear the book so that he has to waste a spell on removing the Buccaneer.
Okay.
I would.
Just want to take a moment to enjoy the golden patches.
Don't get me all tilted again.
Yeah.
Now,
Congratulations to Sharmo.
Tempo Mage has been coming back. Now, did you notice the really important thing he did? He hovered over his hero power 3 times in a row, highlighting it. He wanted you to know
that
he
it was
is a golden mage.
Yes, and I took notice that he is a golden mage.
I would fairy dragon so he knows he cannot hit it with his golden hero power.
Yes.
The Tempo Mage has been coming back. There's been a few different variations. There's a Tempo Reno style. There's just a standard Tempo.
So last week we talked about the Trinity Series tournament that was going on. It continued today, and Team Luminosity was actually playing Tempo Mage. All right, so
all right. So some important things of note here. You have to keep his Arrrgh in your hand. So you're not going to be casting that on turn 4 because you need the activator
for the Blackwing Corruptor.
For the Blackwing on turn 5. So this is either, do you want to go defensive with Fierce Monkey, or do you want to go Alex Straz's champion and keep up the pressure?
I think we keep the pressure on with the champion. What do you think, Zeroshio?
I like that. I think if he had Volcanic Potion, he would have already used it. He would have used it last turn. So I think we put the pressure and go with the champion.
Okay. I do too. I think this is Reno Mage, so I think you're going to be good.
All right.
I don't think it's Reno Mage. I think he's holding back his spells specifically so you think he's Reno Mage.
So let's see how he responds. Animated Armor.
Wow.
So, how do we respond to this? Coin Blackwing Corruptor and run the dragon in?
No, I would coin Blackwing Corruptor and run the champion in.
Okay.
The reason why is because he's protected.
Can't
the fairy
be targeted
dragon
by spells.
Yeah. He's going to have to do something.
Here's my thoughts. I think we Fierce Monkey and just let him take 2 damage to the face. Let him clear the Fierce Monkey with his 4/4, and then we can execute it next turn. Or we can Blackwing Corrupt it
next turn.
And that's just my thoughts.
That's not a bad play. What do you think?
Because it makes him react to 2 healthy minions on the board. 3, actually.
I say you're driving. It's up to you.
All right. Well, that's what we're going to do.
I mean, that's just my. I mean, 2 damage is 2 damage.
That's true. That's true.
And if he's Reno, then so what? I mean, it just makes him Reno sooner.
Well, if it's Reno, you're making him choose between Reno or Blizzard on turn 6.
I like that. But see, we'll be able to clear it
the other way.
Well, yeah.
You won't be getting that now.
I don't know. I think we're still going to do enough damage. He has to. I think he has to find a way to clear this board.
So there's a secret.
And
yeah, be careful. Mirror Entity is working its way back into the meta.
Yes, it is. So what do you think about Ravaging Ghoul here?
No way.
It kills the 4/1, and if he mirrors it, we can just kill it with the champion.
Yeah, and he can't ping off the dragon. I was gonna say Blackwing Corruptor, but I like the Ghoul here.
Both of our minions live.
What do you think, Rasika?
Yeah, well, I mean, both the minions at this point are going to die to Blizzard anyway.
That's true.
Corruptor would die to Flame Strike. I think Ravaging Ghoul is okay, but once again, we're giving another round of pressure to him that he doesn't have to really defend against much of it. So it's 2 points over 2 rounds will add up. Ravaging
well,
Ghoul
I mean, we're going to do
Ravaging
6
Ghoul
to
is
his
fine.
face this turn because animated armor is going to be dead.
It's an effigy.
And effigy. Okay.
So
that's perfect.
Kill the warhorse with the champion.
Yeah, it's not going to matter I think they're all going to die anyway. So, yeah.
Well, if he has Blizzard,
Armor
no.
up.
Yep.
Got it.
Don't forget to use your hero power.
That's
if
right.
he has Blizzard, doesn't kill Ravaging Ghoul.
I meant from the Dragon and the Alexstrasza champion.
Yeah.
We were deciding which one to run in.
Right.
Yeah. At least he can't ping off the Fairy Dragon, so he can't do like
Exactly.
a Frostbolt ping. He has to do something to clear the whole board. That Fairy Dragon's lived a couple turns, so we've gotten value out of it.
He's
Junior JZ is
thinking
taking his
hard.
time.
Yeah.
Very hard.
So now, turn 6 is going to be really clunky because you actually really need the draw, and now you can't play. You're going to have to run both of those in before you can play.
So
We can play Arrrgh now because we just drew in a Fairy Dragon.
Yep.
Drop them both into Sylvanas. Arrrgh.
Okay.
I like that. Just a quick shout out. Congratulations to Ocean Man for hitting rank 7. Listener of the show. Good job.
So I think we trot out the Blackwing Corruptor here and kill that off. Hit him in the face for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at this point, I think I'm starting to armor up every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because you're looking at him possibly trying to set you up with, say, an Alexstrasza here, turn 9, possibly turn 10.
Mm-hmm.
And any extra armor we have is that much extra out of his spell range. If you notice, he hasn't used any direct burn on us yet.
Correct. And I think, depending on what he plays this turn, we respond with Ragnaros. Well, I don't know. There's a secret.
Yeah.
So this is the new version of Freeze Mage that he's playing.
All right, so
It's been cropping back up in the meta as well.
Yeah. What do you think? We could Twilight Guardian, and then if it is Mirror, we could Ravaging Ghoul, Coin, Execute.
That's an option.
A lot of cards to get rid of a Twilight Guardian. Of course, he's probably not running a lot of, but he will be, if this is that Freeze Mage build, he will be running Antonidas, and I would like to say Ravaging Ghoul, Execute for Antonidas.
Okay.
I honestly think we throw out Ragnaros, and if it is Mirror Entity, we got a 50-50 to clear or get him to 6 health.
That's true.
Okay.
I think there's value in that.
And then next turn, he's, a 1 in 3 chance to even hit our face. So, yeah, we know it's probably not a effigy, because if he is running Reno, it's only one of each type.
It was, in fact, Mirror.
We hit hoping he'd clear it.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Now he pretty much has to Reno.
There's Reno.
And if we want this to go to our face, that's probably Ice Block or Ice Barrier.
And he kills our Rag. So now I think we have to Ravaging Ghoul execute it, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll have to execute that. The question is...
Counterspell.
Counterspell. I was not expecting Counterspell. He's running the full Secret Suite. That's surprising. This is definitely a different build.
The new Freeze Mage does.
I haven't seen the new Freeze Mage.
Yeah, Matt at Arms says it's not Freeze Mage. He says it's Reno's Secret Mage.
Ah.
So, and that kind of lines up with what we've seen.
Yeah.
So how do we want to approach this now, guys?
I almost think we have to clear Rag with the 5/3 in our face and then armor up.
Okay.
Or we could just Twilight Drake and pray.
No, you're gonna have to kill Rag.
Yeah, that's my thought too. I wish the 50-50 went our way, but Hearthstone.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, I watched one of our competitors play against this weekend, and I talked to him about it afterwards. And
I haven't seen this one.
Getting on a discussion about RNG in
Right.
Hearthstone.
Yeah.
But the shatters, the list that I saw, Texas Champions Rod.
Wow.
Hmm.
Very interesting.
This is I haven't seen this build. Now we get our pirate packages.
He'll
So I
he'll
think
drop Alex Straza either next turn or the turn after.
I think we have to Twilight Guardian.
Yeah, because with Alex Straza and those 2 minions, that would put us at 7.
Don't play more than 2 minions, or you'll walk right into Flame Strike.
So what do you think we go Buccaneer or Fairy Dragon in?
I think probably Buccaneer and armor up. He's got to take out Buccaneer. Buccaneer clears Reno.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time the competitor that I'm talking about saw this deck, it railed him. When he ran into it again in the B bracket, he knew what to expect and was better prepared for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, a lot of my calls was not expecting this build, and I haven't seen this where I'm playing on the ladder right now, so it's kind of neat, and it goes to show you that not knowing your matchups can really throw you off.
And there's Kazakis.
And now he pretty much has the tempo.
Yes, he has control.
And that's where this deck has a little trouble when it gets behind late game. Especially when you've gone through your Ragnar. So there's nothing like a brawl or anything.
Yeah. All right. So.
You are dead in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming from me, you should take this for what it's worth. I think now is the time to just go ahead and concede and move on to the next game.
Hero power, coin, concede. Or coin, hero power, concede. Depends how you want to do it.
Hero power, coin, concede. Matt at Arms says decks like this is why he runs beneath the grounds.
And that was for you, Cora. That was for you, Cora.
Oh. All right, let's try it again.
The deck that I saw actually ran those minions where it got like, is it +2/+2 per minion frozen? It had those in it.
I think it's just it gets +2/+2 if there's a frozen
minion on the board. That's
frozen enemy.
cry.
Yeah, that's what it was. And the shatters. It's interesting.
All right. So we're going first. We're going to obviously throw back Patches and Ragnaros.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this is, small time Buccaneer. I just hope we don't get Patches as our fourth. I've had that happen to me. I throw them back just to catch
another mage. All right.
We need a weapon or a dragon.
Yeah. Okay.
Or a dragon weapon. That's what needs to come in the next set. A dragon weapon.
So he is going to coin Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Dippo Mage.
Well, there's our dragon.
Champion. And kill that thing.
Kill it with 2 pirates?
2 pirates. Yeah.
Yeah, merit either way you look at it.
Okay.
This sets us up for just a frostbolt kill, but other way we were set up
gets
anyway,
it out
so
and gets the Frostbolt out of his hand.
that's
Yep.
true. Oh, he doesn't have the Frostbolt or doesn't want to use it.
Okay.
Well, we know that he doesn't have Forgotten Torch because he would have used that.
So
Yeah, he doesn't have Forgotten. Well, no, we couldn't use Forgotten Torch because that's 3 mana.
do you guys want a fairy
he
dragon
has-
here? Because it'd be
Oh, that's
harder
right.
for him to remove.
Though we don't have another dragon in our hand,
So
and we
Fierce
want Blackwing
Monkey?
Corruptor, so I would
Yeah.
Fierce Monkey here.
Also, this is a volcanic potion turn. That may have been why he pinged the
That's
Alex
true.
Strauss's champion.
Set up for it.
Instead of using a Frostbolt, ping it, and if we throw out another minion that's 2 health, he gets 2 birds, 1 stone.
All right. So what do you think about throwing out Small Time Buccaneer here in case that is a mirror?
I think so, and I think you also follow
Weapon
it
up.
with the Fiery War Axe. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, and then clear it with the Fiery War Axe. Perfect.
Yep.
All right.
That is the best thing you could possibly have mirror entity in this deck.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do we think it's a effigy?
You know, I don't know, but I would say I would clear it with the axe, just to check, and then you can follow it with Blackwing Corruptor.
Should I?
if it's
Then I should attack with the Buccaneer to the face first, because he'll lose
well, then-
+2 damage if I attack.
That's
Okay.
true. It'll also test for Ice Barrier.
They've also been running Vaporize.
Yeah.
So should I play the Corcoran Elite now to see if it's mirror, so I can clear it with the champion?
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Because if we throw out the Blackwing Corruptor, then we don't have anything to clear it. Oh, wow. That's a lot of damage. That's probably Ice Block.
Probably.
Either going to be Ice Block or Spellbender
Yeah.
Or,
Or
Counterspell.
Counterspell. Yeah.
or Counterspell. Yeah.
We're not worried about all that.
That was the last ditch.
Yeah, he's dead in the water.
Well,
This-
to me, that says that there's a good possibility that it's
Ice Block.
Ice Block because
Oh,
he
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
worried about dying.
So we take the... wait. We take the Fierce Monkey to face first,
And then follow
Followed
up
by-
with the Buccaneer.
the Pirate, and then we clear the 6/3 with...
Alex Strauss's champion.
Yeah.
Oh, we could Blackwing Corruptor it.
No,
To be
we
honest.
want to save the Blackwing
No.
Corruptor to kill
Okay.
him in case he
He's
finds some
going
way
to
to get rid of the
Flame
board.
Strike.
Yeah. Well, he can't.
Well, he
flame
can't Flame Strike
He
next
doesn't have
turn.
enough mana, but
Yeah.
I think this
Right.
turn we're just gonna armor up and pass.
And he could... He can...
Reno. He could Reno this turn.
yeah, but he
Could-
can Blizzard, thinking we don't have any extra damage, and then Blackwing Corruptor is lethal. That's Economical. So
That's game.
we win, yeah. We win by keeping the Blackwing Corruptor in our hand. Good call. Unless he has... No, he's done.
Yep. Adios, muchacho.
GG.
All right, 1-1.
Both versus Mage. Two totally different mages.
Matt at Arms says, "Fierce Monkey battle cry make Twitch chat racist."
That's right. Ah.
All right.
1-1.
That's the other thing I enjoy about this deck is it goes pretty quickly. You're either going to win fast or lose fast.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a priest. So chances are high that it's probably Dragon Priest.
Which pretty much makes Dragonfire Potion a dead card.
Yeah. So do we just keep this hand? So we have a dragon to activate Alex Strauss's champion and the Fierce Monkey.
I think so. You don't want to risk. You want to minimize your risk of getting patches off the draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And-
right.
I think so.
And having Alexstrasza champion be Shadow Word Pain bait follows up with a great turn 3 Fierce Monkey play.
Yeah, there's a turn 3 Frothing Berserker.
Yeah. Even better if he uses the pain on the champion.
Northshire Cleric.
Yep, no Share Cleric or the Whelp, but probably Cleric, yeah.
Coin.
Could be Power Word Shield.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could be an Inner
'Cause
Fire OTK. We've been seeing that around.
He wouldn't
You
have
have?
wasted the Power Word Shield. Oh, yeah.
I swear, you guys see things I don't.
All right. So I think we just Alexstrasza's champion and go face.
Yep.
So if we run it into it, he can only heal it up to a 4.
Yeah,
What?
but it still
4
gives
next
you a
turn?
card.
But he draws the card.
Yeah, that's true. He's probably
That's
going to
it.
run into it anyways and heal.
Yeah, but that uses his turn. He didn't get
Yeah.
to cast anything.
That's true.
And he is going to Nether Spot Historian instead.
And so our turn 3, I like, before we draw, of course, a Frothing Berserker to run into the 1/3, making it a 4/4, so it can't be pained or deathed.
Yes, I like that play.
I like that.
Sometimes you have to be real mindful of your attack of your Frothing Berserker. You want to try to wait to burst his attack up until you can attack with him.
Right.
Now, if he throws down things to defend it, we can Ravaging Ghoul and do a
buff it
bunch
up
of
real
damage to his
big.
face.
Yeah.
Or he can just run the Northshire Cleric into it.
Yeah, but that's a
Finish
rather
that thing.
costly because then it makes it a 1/1 and he can't heal it because he used all his mana.
So he's going to double Nether Spot Historian.
So next turn we could just Fierce Monkey and just go straight face.
That's
and
what I'm thinking.
protect. Don't let the Berserker get above 4/4 yet. That kind of stinks, but
Well, we could Fierce Monkey Patches and hit him in the face for 8.
That's what
Yeah.
I would do.
it's a lot of
Remember,
burst damage.
He used the coin, so that's an important note because normally going into this turn you'd have to worry about Holy Nova,
Right.
but
Yeah.
he can't because he already used the coin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you were playing against me, you would have to worry about Mass Dispel, but you're not.
That's true.
Man at Arms
Nice
says, bad
spell.
patches. Stay in the deck.
Oh my goodness. This is Quirky Turtle.
Do you know Quirky
Yeah.
Turtle?
Yes, I do. If I am not mistaken, if it's the same Quirky Turtle, this is someone close to a friend of ours, Ziggy Sarah, or it could be Ziggy Sarah.
Man at Arms says lethal.
It is lethal.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
Ravaging Ghoul.
Ravaging Ghoul.
After you run patches into
yeah. Run patches into the 3/6.
Okay.
Ravaging Ghoul.
no, not yet.
Oh, not yet.
Run everybody into the Twilight
What?
Guardian.
So run the 3/4 into it first.
No, run the 3/2 into it first.
Why wouldn't we wait and Ravaging Ghoul first to get the bonus attack
You
damage?
get that would be 2 extra attack damage if you do it that way. You want to run the monkey in
Okay.
first. Yes,
Okay,
monkey first.
but then the monkey die. Yeah,
No,
doesn't
no, it
matter.
doesn't.
Go.
It'll die afterwards.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hurry,
Monkey,
running out of space.
ghoul, Alexstrasza champion, then go face. Did you get it?
3
just sort of
damage off
lethal.
lethal.
I don't think we had lethal. I didn't think we had lethal. Oh, yeah, we had lethal.
Okay. So it was close. It was close. And we could have killed him the same way we killed our opponent last game with the... If he didn't heal, we could have killed him with the Corruptor. So... Alright. 2-1. Matt at Arms says, my bad, close enough.
I thought he had lethal too, but I thought you had to hit... I thought you had to hit the monkey with the ghoul after you had hit the... Yeah.
Yeah. You want to with the ravaging, or not with the ravaging, with the frothing. You want to hit as many minions as possible to make it as big as you can.
I just had it backwards.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right.
See me?
Yep. That's gonna do it for us tonight. Do you guys have any last thoughts before we go, Zeroshio?
No. Just I'm really excited about the Patreon tournament this weekend. That's pretty much it. I can't wait to cast that.
Okay. Versika?
Yeah, I mean, we got the Patron tournament this weekend, this Saturday. The Tasty Charades tournament is Sunday. And so we got both of those going on. It's the last few days before the ladder resets, so you know it's going to be crazy. If you were going to go counter meta, I think at this point you'd be pretty safe to go counter aggro, and I think you'd see a fairly successful ladder climb. But yeah, so we're, 2-3 weeks out from the first real HCT?
Yep.
Yes.
3 weeks, right?
Something like that. Playoffs are 17th through the 19th.
Yep. So we're getting ramped up for that. Watch the meta change again, I think, before that happens.
Yep.
It'll be a minor swing, but I think the meta will change one more time before we go into the playoffs.
All right. Well, guys, if you have any questions or comments about the show or the deck we played tonight, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Do us a favor, please hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you haven't done so already, or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted to when we go live. And for more details about our Patreon, check out patreon.com/heropower. And that's going to do it for us. Guys, until next time, good gaming.
Bye-bye. Have fun.